In recent years, the global economic landscape has been shaped by the remarkable rise of two Asian giants, China and India. These neighboring countries, each with populations exceeding 1.4 billion, have followed very different trajectories on their path to economic prominence. As of 2024, China's nominal GDP stands at approximately $18.74 trillion, while India's nominal GDP is around $3.91 trillion. When translated to GDP per capita, the contrast becomes even more pronounced. China's figure hovers near $13,300, while India's is just under $2,700. This substantial gap in average income per person reflects not only differences in economic scale, but also in the strategies both countries have adopted to foster growth and development. China's economic transformation over the past 4 decades has been nothing short of extraordinary. The seeds of this transformation were sown in the late 1970s, when sweeping reforms opened the door to foreign investment, export-oriented manufacturing, and unprecedented urbanization. The 1990s and 2000s, in particular, saw a massive wave of industrialization that reshaped China's society and economy. Factories producing electronics, textiles, machinery, and countless other goods sprang up across the country, fueling an export boom that would eventually make China the world's factory. The government poured resources into infrastructure projects, high-speed rail, highways, ports, and urban centers, creating an environment where business could flourish and millions could migrate from rural poverty to urban opportunity. Crucially, China's growth was not just about numbers on a balance sheet. The country launched one of the most ambitious poverty reduction campaigns in human history, lifting more than 800 million people out of extreme poverty since 1980. Targeted programs improved education, expanded healthcare, and extended basic services to remote areas, ensuring that the benefits of growth reached vast swaths of the population. In contrast, India's journey has been more gradual and, in many respects, more complex. While India's economy has grown rapidly in recent decades, outpacing many peers, its development model has leaned heavily on the service sector, from information technology and finance to communications and retail. Manufacturing, though significant, has not played the same dominant role as in China. India's infrastructure development has progressed at a slower pace, hampered by regulatory challenges, land acquisition hurdles, and a complex federal system. Income inequality remains a persistent issue, with rural areas often lagging behind urban centers in education, healthcare, and employment opportunities. Despite these challenges, there are clear signs of progress and reform. In 2024, the Indian government introduced a landmark union budget aimed at boosting inclusive growth. Recognizing the need to stimulate domestic consumption and investment, the budget raised the tax-free income threshold to Rs 12 lakh, providing relief to millions of middle-income households. New tax rates for individuals and small businesses were also introduced, making it easier for entrepreneurs to invest and expand. These measures are designed to put more money in the hands of ordinary Indians, encouraging spending and driving demand for goods and services across the country. Infrastructure development has become a central pillar of India's economic strategy. Initiatives like the Bharatmala and Sagarmala projects are transforming connectivity by building new highways, ports, and logistics hubs. By improving the movement of goods and people, these projects are laying the foundation for broader industrialization and job creation, especially in regions that have historically been left behind. Yet, economic reforms have not been without controversy. In July 2025, a nationwide strike, popularly known as Bharat Bandh, was organized by a coalition of trade unions and rural worker groups. Their grievances centered on a series of government reforms, including the privatization of state-owned enterprises and new labor laws perceived to weaken worker protections. The strike disrupted key sectors such as coal mining, banking, insurance, and manufacturing, underscoring the delicate balance between promoting economic growth and safeguarding social welfare. To truly bridge the economic gap with China, India must look inward and focus on inclusive development that reaches all corners of society. This means prioritizing key areas that directly impact the lives of its citizens, especially those from lower-income backgrounds and rural communities. Improving the quality and accessibility of education is paramount. While India has made significant strides in expanding primary school enrollment, the challenge now lies in ensuring that education is relevant to the needs of a modern economy. Investments in vocational training, digital skills, and higher education can equip the next generation with the tools they need to thrive in an increasingly competitive global market. Healthcare remains another critical area. Expanding access to affordable, universal primary healthcare will help tackle persistent issues like malnutrition, maternal and child health, and sanitation, especially in underserved rural areas. Strengthening the healthcare system is not only a moral imperative, but also an economic one, as a healthy workforce is essential for sustained growth. India's manufacturing sector holds enormous potential to create jobs and drive growth, especially for young people entering the workforce. By improving the ease of doing business for micro, small, and medium-sized enterprises, the government can encourage entrepreneurship and support labor-intensive industries. Reducing bureaucratic hurdles, streamlining regulations, and providing targeted incentives can help unlock the dynamism of India's manufacturing base. Rural development must also remain at the forefront of policy efforts. Investing in agricultural technology, irrigation, and rural roads can boost productivity, raise incomes, and reduce the urban-rural divide. Empowering local governance structures ensures that resources are allocated efficiently and that development projects meet the unique needs of each community. Social safety nets are vital for building resilience among the most vulnerable. Expanding direct benefit transfers, such as cash payments to low-income families, improves transparency and reduces opportunities for corruption. Programs like the Mahatma Gandhi National Rural Employment Guarantee Act, MGNREGA, provide a safety net for rural workers, ensuring a minimum level of income and supporting local development projects. It is important to recognize that India's path to economic greatness will not be identical to China's. Each country faces its own unique set of challenges, shaped by history, politics, and society. Where China's growth was characterized by centralized decision-making and rapid industrialization, India's democracy and diversity require a more nuanced and inclusive approach. Recent government efforts have shown a willingness to learn from past mistakes and adapt to changing circumstances. The 2024-25 Union budget's focus on middle-income relief and small business support is a step in the right direction, as is the push for infrastructure modernization. However, the response to the nationwide strike in 2025 serves as a reminder that reforms must be balanced with protections for workers and vulnerable groups. Looking ahead, India's demographic dividend represents both a tremendous opportunity and a formidable challenge. With a youthful population eager for education, employment, and upward mobility, the country stands at a crossroads. By investing in people through better schools, robust healthcare, modern infrastructure, and targeted social programs, India can lay the groundwork for a more prosperous and equitable future. At the same time, India must remain mindful of global trends. As the world transitions to new technologies and grapples with issues like climate change, the country has the chance to leapfrog traditional development paths. Embracing clean energy, digital innovation, and sustainable practices will not only boost competitiveness, but also ensure long-term resilience. In summary, while the GDP per capita gap between China and India remains significant, the story of India's economic rise is far from finished. The nation has demonstrated an impressive capacity for reform and adaptation, and its leaders have shown a growing awareness of the need for inclusive, people-centered development. By sharpening its focus on education, healthcare, infrastructure, manufacturing, and social safety nets, India can build a more just and prosperous society, one that unlocks the potential of every citizen. As global interest in India continues to grow, the world will be watching closely to see how the country navigates the challenges and opportunities ahead. With determination, innovation, and a commitment to inclusive growth, India can not only narrow the gap with China, but also chart its own course as a beacon of progress for the developing world. The journey may be long, but the destination, a thriving, inclusive, and dynamic India, is well within reach.